Good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's special webinar hosted by Wildlife SOS. I'm Sandeep Priya, the Deputy Director, Corporate and Philanthropic Partnership at Wildlife SOS. I'm going to be your host through this insightful session today. Welcome, everyone. Before we start, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us today. Today's webinar is extra special because we are celebrating World Elephant Day and discussing our volunteer program that involves these incredible elephants. We are about to take you on a virtual journey where you can discover all about Wildlife SOS and our efforts to conserve and care for elephants. You are welcome to learn about the wonderful things that occur when you decide to volunteer with us. Before we begin, I have an important announcement to make. You can actively engage in this webinar by sharing your questions, your thoughts in the Q&A box. If we can't address your question during the session, due to time constraints, our team will be emailing you the responses very soon. So also our team will be actively responding to your questions in the Q&A box while the presentation is ongoing. So feel free to ask anything you would like. As we embark on this exciting journey, let's take a brief moment to introduce Wildlife SOS to those who might be new to us. Welcome, everyone. Established in 1995, Wildlife SOS is a leading wildlife conservation organization dedicated to rescuing and rehabilitating injured and displaced wildlife. With over 25 years of experience, we have achieved significant milestones in our mission to protect and preserve India's rich biodiversity. In this initiative, we also focus on safeguarding elephants, both in the wild and those living in captivity. These majestic beings also face numerous challenges, ranging from habitat loss to mistreatment. Our dedicated team at Wildlife SOS is on a mission to provide them with a safe and nurturing environment. At Wildlife SOS, we believe in a future where elephants are treated with respect and kindness, and where their existence is celebrated. We are dedicated to making this vision a reality, and we invite you to be a part of this meaningful journey. Looking forward, as we are continuing with this engaging webinar's momentum, I'm delighted to introduce you to our esteemed fellow speakers who might bring expertise and passion to our conversation. First up is Mr. Shivam Rai. Hi, Shivam.
Hi, Sandeep.
Hey. So Shivam is our dedicated elephant project head coordinator. Shivam's role encompasses coordinating our remarkable elephant project and overseeing our invaluable volunteer program. With a hands-on approach, he provides crucial support to our field operations, ensuring that our efforts have a positive impact where it matters the most. Welcome to the board, Shivam.
Thank you so much, Sandeep.
Next, we have the privilege of introducing Ms. Debbie Haynes. Debbie holds the position of Wildlife SOS UK manager, and her commitment to our cause is truly exceptional. As both a patron supporter and a passionate volunteer of our elephant conservation and care program, Debbie's love for animals shines brightly. Welcome on board, Debbie.
Hi, Sandy. Thank you.
Hey. So with their insights and dedication, our speakers exemplify the heart and soul of our mission. Their contributions reflect the diverse and collaborative approach that defines Wildlife SOS, and I'm confident that their words will inspire and enlighten all of us. Let's now embark on an exciting journey of learning and exploration with Shivam and Debbie. Welcome to the session, guys. So it's time to dive into the world of questions. So Debbie, we would love to know more about your journey with Wildlife SOS and how you became involved. I'm sure everybody in this room is eager to hear about your personal connection and the inspiration that led you to be a part of this incredible mission. Please share your thoughts.
Okay, thanks, Sandy. So my background was 100% corporate until in 2018, I decided to really embrace my passion for elephants, which I'd always had since I was a young girl. I think I did a project at school about elephants when I was about 8. But as part of that, I actually went to Chester Zoo to see the elephants there, and that really, really upset me. So I'd always been passionate about elephants and wanting to help them stay wild and not become extinct. So I started to research ethical volunteering programs that I could go and see when I was on my journey in India, and came across Wildlife SOS, who I have to admit I'd not come across before. And what really drew me to them was the holistic approach that they did take and still do take with regard to all of their projects and their animals. And by that, I mean the fact that we don't just rescue animals, we actually also actively support and encourage the people who were earning their livings by abuse and use of these wild animals. And so we encourage sustainable livelihoods. So off I went in 2018 to be a volunteer, and actually Shivam was my education officer on that trip, which is great that we now work together. That week, I thought I was going to learn all about elephants, and I did, but I learned so much more about the plight of the wild in India, especially the elephants, and just how under threat Asian elephants are and by what means. And it was extremely impactful, so impactful that in 2019, having given up my job in the corporate world because it just didn't tick the boxes, having actually experienced what I experienced as a volunteer, I walked away from the corporate life. I'd kept in touch with Wildlife SOS regarding the volunteer programme, and then an opportunity arose and I joined them. It was like a dream come true. Joined in November 2019. So here we are nearly 4 years on, and my days are spent helping build awareness about our work, about the plight of Asian elephants, to educate people about all of that, doing outreach, whether that's with schools, primary schools, secondary schools, and corporates and volunteers, both virtual, and also trying to encourage volunteers to go out and visit our programme. And I would highly recommend it because, it changed my life. So I'm sure it can do the same for others, maybe not in the same way, but it will definitely change your life for the better.
You know what? I must say, what a journey. It's really incredible, really amazing. And what strong commitment.
Thank you.
So, Shivam, hey, your journey with Wildlife SOS and the Elephant Project is like a treasure trove of inspiration waiting to be unlocked. And it's true, it's really waiting to be unlocked. So could you take us on a little adventure through your experiences and tell us what's been the most heartwarming moment you have had while working with these incredible creatures? Give us some, background, some story.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always wonderful for me to work with this dedicated team on ground. And I'm very thankful to you, Sandy, especially how wonderfully you explained everything about Wildlife SOS. So very thankful to you, and thankful to all the participants, those who are attending this webinar today. So it all started in way back in about 2009. And basically my study background, my academics are very different from wildlife. I'm a bachelor in civil engineer, and I did my master's in my highway designing and railway designing. So, but since my childhood, I was very passionate towards animals. I used to help and save all the street animals in my small hometown. It's way far from this Agra and Mathura. So luckily, it was a very lucky chance for me. I came in Agra to do my bachelor. And during that days, Wildlife SOS was doing an amazing work to help save dancing bear from India. So actually our Agra Bear Rescue Facility is inside a bird sanctuary. So I used to go there for bird watching, just for my personal interest in the field of wildlife. That's how I came to know about Wildlife SOS, about their amazing and extra effort in saving the bears. So that's how I got connected with Wildlife SOS since 2009. And luckily, during my master's, I did my thesis for wildlife vehicle collision reduction studies. And my study site was very close to the other elephant facility of Wildlife SOS, which is in the state of Haryana. So that's how I again got a connection with Wildlife SOS. And right after my master's, I decided to quit my career in the field of engineering. So I know by my heart that it was a very easy decision for me, because I was selfish for myself, for my future, for my satisfaction in my life. But it was hard for my family to take that decision. So I simply turned back to Wildlife SOS. I just made a call, and I'm very thankful to my current director, Baju sir, who was there on the call, and he just accepted me very wholeheartedly, and he allowed me to come and stay as a volunteer, and then choose your path. So that's how I started in 2015, and now still you all can see me here. So that was the day, like in 2018 and 17, I was a volunteer coordinator and education officer on field. And I still remember the day how Debbie came with another group of 14, 15 volunteers on the field. We had a lot of fun while working on the ground. So that was very incredible days that time. And as Sandy, you asked me the heartwarming experiences on the field. So to be very frank, to be from my heart, that we, means me and my whole team, we always feel very encouraged. We always feel very passionate, with very uh, enthusiastic whenever we accept any of our rescued elephants. So we always try to know, we are always very excited about their personal life, how they will be reacting with other elephants at the facility. It's always amazing to know someone is coming as a guest to your facility. And we want them to make a part of our Wildlife SOS family at the Elephant Conservation and Care Center. So it's very amazing at that time. And it's a very one special incident which I recall, which was with two elephants. We call them sisters, Ria and Mia. So that day was very emotional. Most of us were eyes were full of tears, because we had rescued Mia elephant 6 months back from a circus background, and due to some paperwork was not completed properly with the forest department of Tamil Nadu. So we got Ria after 6 months of Mia. And usually this happens whenever the new elephant comes. They always try to explore with their trunk the whole new place, that how these elephants are here. The place is new to them. They always try to assess the condition and the vibes of the center. And at the same time, our other elephant, those who are our family members, they also want to know that who is this new family member is going to join us. So all of a sudden, we just heard a small calling rumble from Mia elephant, and then Ria elephant. She was completely like uh, freaked out. She just tried to push the people away, our caretakers, and we all were just out away from her path. She just ran straight to Mia, and they both literally they started doing their tactile communication, rumbles. They were touching each other. It was so heartwarming and exceptional. So we just decided, okay, let's open the door. It's all done. Let them be together. And that day, and still this day, these two are very close, very fast friends, and it's incredible how Mia supports Ria and Ria supports Mia. It's amazing. So that's my journey. So please.
That's fantastic. I believe that when you know, you know. So that is how you have entered the family of Wildlife SOS. It's a very captivating and heartwarming journey, I must say.
Thank you so much, Sandeep.
So moving ahead about Wildlife SOS Elephant Conservation and Care Program, Wildlife SOS stands at the forefront of elephant conservation, orchestrating a symphony of compassion and dedication that echoes across India. A testament to this commitment is the pioneering establishment of India's first elephant hospital by Wildlife SOS, a sanctuary of healing where every heartbeat resonates with the promise of a brighter future. These incredible beings, rescued from the clutches of the begging industry, the relentless toil of the tourism trade, and the confines of circuses and processions, find solace within this beautiful sanctuary of Wildlife SOS. Expert veterinary attention nurtures their physical well-being here, ensuring each step we take is a step towards renewed strength and vitality. But the impact of Wildlife SOS transcends these individual stories. It's a harmonious blend of conservation and sustainability at Wildlife SOS, deeply rooted in the Sustainable Development Goals. The sanctuary became a canvas of transformation where the strokes of tree plantation creates not just shade, but a haven of biodiversity. Organic farming breathes life into the soil, nurturing not only elephants, but the very earth that cradles them. Renewable energy models illuminate the path towards a future that is as bright as it is sustainable. Wildlife SOS doesn't just rescue and rehabilitate, it revitalizes and empowers, painting a vibrant tapestry of coexistence where humans and nature dance in harmony. Let's have a look at this beautiful sanctuary. Volunteering with Wildlife SOS is a thrilling adventure that turns into an animal superhero. Help elephants, bears, and more, making a real impact on their lives. And you can do it today itself in this very webinar. You can get up close, learn their stories, and watch them heal. This entire volunteer program allows you to join a team that rescues and cares for these incredible beings. So keeping the spirit of this volunteering program alive, Debbie, you have been a patron of Wildlife SOS and you know the program in detail. What, according to you, are the practical, personal, and interpersonal skills that volunteers can develop or enhance by working for these gentle giants at the sanctuary? Debbie, you need to unmute yourself.
Sorry, thank you, Sandy. Yeah, I think top of the list has got to be that I came away from the volunteering program an esteemed smoothie maker, actually, because we spent most days we had to make some smoothies for Susie, who's one of our, well, she's our oldest elephant, and Susie has no teeth, so she absolutely loves her fruit smoothies. So that was one of the jobs that Shivam actually allocated to us. And it was an absolute delight. So yeah, came away knowing how to wash, chop fruit and vegetables and make smoothies. But I think from a personal point of view, one of the things that I think the program will bring out in anybody is confidence. Firstly, you've had the confidence to travel potentially to another country and a very different culture, and experiencing that in itself means that you grow in confidence that you've done that. And then when you're actually in the volunteering, you might be a lone traveller or travelling as a family, but you then get to engage with other people, other groups, other volunteers that are there. Also, our team, our staff, our vets, and it does definitely boost your confidence. And in tandem with that is communication skills. It's not always easy because many of our caregivers don't speak English at all. And so there's a lot of communication by hand signals and smiling. I don't think I've ever smiled so much in my life, because not just because it was great fun, but it's just one of the universal things that everybody just does to go, yeah, that's fine, I'll do it. So I think communication skills, you have to work as a group. Even if there's only 2 or 3 of you there, it's probably even more important then that you all get on and you work together to provide the biggest impact, positive impact to our animals and to help the caregivers there. Develop your empathy and understanding for the plight of wildlife, to understand what these poor animals have gone through for their lives, their early lives, have been quite abusive, well, very abusive, in fact. And I think you learn as well, emotionally you grow, because it can be very, very emotional journey when you're over at the sanctuary. And I think one of the things I'd like to add there is that our volunteer house, which is where our volunteers stay, we've got a number of houses. They're all really, really lovely modern houses, but the biggest benefit of them, I would say, is the communal space. So at the end of the day, when you go back from the volunteering programme, it really is a place that encourages communication, and, you know, just sitting there and communicating with each other, which helps you get over the emotional side of things and helps you prepare for the next day. And the education officers are always on hand. So I think also practical skills is another thing that you learn. Other than making smoothies, you learn about organic farming. You actually help do the gardening. We grow a lot of fruit and vegetables, which we use on site. Caring for the wildlife, and also enrichment building. That's a skill that I didn't have before, as to how to create knotted enrichments of bunches of fodder and then hoisting them up high so that elephants like Lakshmi, who was definitely won my heart, can spend about 2 minutes undoing what took me about an hour to do. So she makes it look very, very easy. And I think teamwork as well, that's hugely important. And you just learn so much. So there is a real educational process to go through when you're a volunteer as well. The education officers are on hand all the time to provide information and to share their knowledge, which is extensive, and it's just heartwarming. You cannot help but yeah, just be so impressed. And finally, I think networking abilities and outreach. On return, yeah, look at my journey. I got back from Wildlife SOS, and I think it's fair to say I did a fair bit of outreach then, and here I am still doing it. So I think those skills have been really, really important in helping me both gain this role and also do my very, very best at it.
I agree with you. I think, and also Lakshmi is my favorite as well.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I feel is people learn to respect nature and wildlife. That is one of the biggest learning and outcome.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that to have empathy and understanding, before going there, I always knew that elephants suffered quite awful lives of abuse, whether it was in tourism or as begging elephants, having travelled abroad quite frequently. I myself actually did an elephant ride, well, not an elephant ride, but swam with elephants and helped bathe them back in 2010. And even though I loved elephants, I was totally oblivious as to what they went through, the whole process of Peijan, of breaking their spirits so that they would do what we humans want them to do. And I think that was probably, for me, that was the emotional upset in the journey, but also it was a really affirmative moment, because that's what made me think, you know what, I don't want to do my corporate job anymore, which was it was great, but it wasn't a vocation and it wasn't something I was passionate about anymore. And I really just wanted to do something where I could make a difference. So, you know, inspired by Shivam and what I learned while I was there and my fellow volunteers, yeah, that took me then on a totally different journey for the last sort of 4 or 5 years of my life, which is just incredible to do a job where you don't wake up and think, oh, work today, you know. It's fantastic. And to know you're making a difference and helping educate others to see that they too can make a difference, even if it's by just not engaging in any of these tourist activities, or making a difference by doing something positive.
No, absolutely. I agree with you. It's basically the journey of transformation towards nurturing and empathy development. A lot of things just pour into this entire volunteer program.
Yeah, absolutely. And also some amazing friends that I made. You know, I'm heading back to India in a few months' time, and one of the girls is somebody that I actually met whilst I was over in India volunteering, and we've never met since, but we're going to be meeting up again a few years later. So yeah, and I've got a lovely group of friends that I think Shivam will remember them all, and probably 5 or 6 of us that all stay in touch as a result.
That's amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
Moving ahead, Shivam will give us a sneak peek into what makes the volunteer program so special. So over to you, Shivam.
Yeah, thank you, Sanvi. Thank you, Devi, for explaining a lot of things about the volunteering and about your experience in your window. So let's talk about the overview of this program. So volunteering program at Wildlife SOS Elephant Conservation and Care Center, we designed in such a way so that we can give an experience to all sort of people. So it does not matter they are from any background or any age group. So we want every single people to come and have an experience and learn about these majestic and magnificent creatures of this Mother Earth. And it's unfortunate to say that Asian elephants are endangered species. So it's very important to know about them. And when we know something, then only we respect, we love. And when we love someone or something, then we try to conserve. So it's very important to know and love these elephants. So let's start a small and quick overview. So our volunteering program consists of 5 days a week, where the first day will be a complete orientation session. We keep it, it starts from volunteer house, where all the volunteers get together in the presence of our education officers and volunteer coordinator. We drive from there, we reach to the first stop will be the Agra Bear Rescue Facility. There we explain every single bit of our facility, how this facility came into existence, how we rescued the dancing bear from the streets of India, and how we ended up that barbaric practice from India. And it's very proud to say from our side, from Wildlife SOS team, that no more bear streets of India. So that's very amazing place over there. And then we take volunteers inside, we show them the bear enclosures, we show them the bear kitchen, we introduce them with our vet team, with our ground team, our supervisors. And that's how they get to learn about the bears. They also get to see a small documentary over the effort of Wildlife SOS since last 10, 12 years to eradicate this barbaric practice. And right after that orientation session, that will be almost half day, we head towards the Elephant Conservation Care Center, which is 15 minutes drive again from Bear Rescue Facility towards Mathura at the Elephant Rescue Center. And there we start the day just with a delicious lunch, which will be served at the observation area, where volunteers can see elephants, they can enjoy their specific food and the lunch over there, which is complete organic vegetarian lunch. And the most amazing thing that most of these vegetables and lentils, they all are grown in our own organic field. So we have a small organic farm as well, where you can see even in the picture background, how one volunteer is helping us in that, making a bed for the vegetables. So that's how that then we start the orientation of the elephant campus, and we introduce the volunteers with every section of the Elephant Conservation Care Center. We explain them the importance of the facility. We explain them how we rescue these elephants from what kind of situation, and also we discuss a lot of questions and answers of the volunteers. We also explain them as much as possible from our side. We show them the place where they will be working in next couple of days, and how they will be helping out our ground staff, and how they will be making an impact on the our ground team. So that will be the first day. And after this, we head towards the volunteer house back there again. And in the evening at volunteer house, we also give a very specific sessions. It's very special for so many volunteers. And as you are in India, so people love to learn about the yoga. People love to learn about the cooking, how to make Indian chai, how to make lentil, how to make dough and chapatis, etc. In the volunteer house kitchen. And also we also try to provide on the specific demand of the volunteers the HINA classes as well. So that will be the end of the day. And also our volunteer house is full of every kind of engaging activities, especially if someone is a very book lover, we have a full library over there. And most of these books are donated by so many visitors and the volunteers and the lovers of wildlife as well. So that's how the first day ends and the next 2 day begins the next day. So thank you so much, Sandeep.
That's great, Shivam. Great. Let's move to the day in the life of volunteer.
So it itself in the presentation, the picture says that the day and the day at the Elephant Conservation Care Center will be very colorful, as well as you can see these volunteers, they are very colorful, and the fruits they are cutting, that is also very colorful. So right now they are just preparing the Suzy smoothie, which Debbie was explaining to you guys. Our grandma at the facility, she is very old. She needs a lot of extra attention and care. So she needs only smoothies. And just a quick introduction about these volunteers. We are very grateful to them. These are the Leslie, Karen, and Rafa. They came from Mexico. They stayed 2 weeks with Wildlife SOS. They made a very big impact. They made a small documentary on us. They also released it through their social media platform. They raised a lot of awareness and also a lot of helping hands for Wildlife SOS and the animals who are in our care. So that's how the day starts. You can see the same way we reach to the center at ECCC, and the first step will be the preparation of their fruits. And every volunteers will be involved in chopping of the fruits, distribution of the fruits in the specific bucket of the elephants. Then from there, we take the bucket towards the respective enclosures of the elephant. And after that, the volunteers will be helping the team of the caregivers in putting up the enrichment inside the enclosure. And also some volunteers will be engaged in pool cleaning. So everything will be related to elephants and for the welfare of the elephants at the facility. So cleaning, maintenance, enclosures, and enrichment, filling up the activities. Enrichments are very important. I don't know you guys know or not, but enrichment is very important. Enrichment means physical stimulation and mental stimulation for the elephants at the facility. So we try to mimic like nature. We can never be Mother Nature, but we try to give our best to these elephants. We try to hide their food in different sections of the enclosure so that these elephants have to use their mind, their skill, their trunk to get those food from different sections of the enclosure, which gives them a lot of activity, which makes them feel like they're elephant. They are not dependent on a human being. They can do so many things by themselves. So that's a very, very basic and it's a very important part of any rescue facility for any animals in the place. The same thing we do at the Bear Rescue Center as well. So that's the end of the half day at the Elephant Care Center. Then we again go back to the lunch, which is very important. After seeing all these fruits and fodder, definitely all the volunteers, they get tired, they start running towards the lunch area. And again, the same delicious organic veg lunch. After lunch, we give them half an hour to 1 hour of free time where they sit on the deck area. It's an observation deck. From there, they can observe elephants, how they use their trunk, how they do their tactile communication, their socializing, how they use the pool area, how they dust themselves. So it's amazing to just sit and observe these elephants. It's amazing. Your whole day will go, even your whole life can go. So it's very important to know them from a safe distance. It's very important. Then again, some volunteers are very specific. They have special expertise. Suppose if someone is very good in painting work, someone is very good in electrician, someone is a very good painter, or someone wants to work in the garden and all. So we allow all the volunteers as per their age group, as per their expertise, to help us in so many different ways and on the field. So basically, it's very important for volunteers to give their skills and share their skills with our team. So it's very important. And the most amazing part of the day, it is in the end, which is we call it evening observation walk with Elise, where we all go, we all volunteers and our education staff, we go in the open field. So usually our elephants at the elephant care rescue facility, they go 2 times of walk, which is very important. They go 3 hours in the morning and 1 hour in the evening. So we go follow them in the evening walk. We go and see them from a safe distance without intruding their own personal life. And we see them how delicately they use their trunk, how they are improving themselves, how they are searching different type of grasses, how they are eating some leaf, how they are using their skills to get the branches from the tree. And some elephants will be dusting themselves. Some elephants will be doing some socializing activities. And that time we discussed a lot about their personal characters and the behavior. So it's very important. And also we get to know that which elephant is good with each other, which elephants have some complications, because every elephants have their group now, just like us, we do have like different groups, friends, and we do chit chat. So the same way they also behave. So we discuss all these things. It's very interesting during those conversations. So that's the end of the day at the facility. Then again, back to the home, Hina, cooking, and books.
This is just
Yeah.
fascinating, Shivam. Amazing. I would love to come and jump with my friends and do this entire volunteering program at the ECCC facility by myself.
So you are always welcome, Sandy. You can come anytime. And those who are watching this, they can come. They can apply. They can come anytime.
Great. Let's just go through this video, Shivam.
Yeah, sure, sure.
So what is this about?
Yeah. So this is about fruit chopping. So you can see all these volunteers are helping us in chopping of these big pumpkins. So this is the daily activity where you can imagine the amount of work, because we have 30 elephants in our care at the elephant rescue facility. And every day we have to prepare 25 kilograms of fruits and vegetables for all these elephants. So almost 500 to 600 kilos of fruits and vegetables we have to cut every day. So that's a very important work at the facility. And all these volunteers, they help us a lot. Some of them, they learn these skills once they come here. Some of them are very pro in this fruit chopping from their home experiences. So that's again working and also talking and discussing with each other, knowing each other. It's a different world. It's a different. It's an amazing thing for us as well when we meet different people from different part of the world with different expertise, with their different mindset. It's always amazing to mingle with them and talk to them about their country, about their work, everything. So it's amazing. It's an amazing. And also in the background, you can hear a lot of sound of the peacocks. So the whole facility is now a very big biodiverse facility. So we have now lots of birds, snakes, mongoose, monkeys, everything. So it's a lot for people to see and listen the nature. Hmm. So yeah, Sandeep,
Okay.
please go ahead. You-
Great. So Shivam, whatever you have mentioned, it's all fantastic. I'm sure everybody would love to come and volunteer at the facility. At this point of time, I'm curious to learn about the fitness aspect. What kind of physical abilities or fitness levels are required or ideal for the volunteers at Wildlife SOS? And could you also shed some light on what qualities and skills make someone a great fit to be a volunteer with the organization?
Uh, Sandy, actually, as I already said you that we always want to give experience to all age of people. But for kids, especially, we request if they are below 12-year age, they should accompany with their parents or with their teacher. And rest all, we accommodate very heartily to all people and from any age background because we have variety of work. Even people, if they are coming from old age background, they cannot work physically that kind of hard work. So we give them responsibility of like a supervisor. So they become supervisor at the fruit chopping area. They then instruct the other volunteers. Okay, you go and do this. You chop the fruits, you distribute the fruits, and you weigh the fruits like that. So it's always a fun for people, and we always respect them. It's again a kind of a good kind of a bonding. So we always take a lot of relationship. Like sometimes we get mom, sometimes we get grandmom, sometimes we get sisters in these volunteers. So sometimes we get brothers. So it's very amazing to uh, get these relatives every week in a different from a different country. So it's amazing. And here you can see in the picture also we have very cute this school kids and they just came, they just visited the place, and now they are in their schools. They made their presentation. They are spreading the word for elephants, and you can see another group of volunteers down there. They are working hard in the at the bear rescue facility. They are making platform for bears to jump on it and to find out their Aussie ball, to find out their honey, to find out their jaggery from different part of the platform. And on the top, we have this volunteer. She is Mimi, and it's an absolute fantastic. And I hats off to her and her willpower. She was 80 plus. She was 80, more than 80-year old. So basically, older than our Susie. And she was very fun. She always used to work, and she never get tired. And she was always on move. So it's amazing to see these people coming on the ground, helping our staff, and they also give us a lot of encourage to keep fighting for animals, and they're our hope, basically. So they're very
That's great.
recommended.
Great. Let's talk about the objectives of the program.
Uh, so Sandy, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So let's come to the objective of this all volunteering program. So I try to summarize it in three very different, just three basic words. One is a learning experience for the volunteers because for most of the volunteers, it's a very new place. It's a very new world. Even elephants are very new to them. So when they come on the ground, when they spend 5 days with us, they get to interact with our ground staff, they get to interact with our education officers, they get to interact with the other fellow volunteers, they get to interact with our dedicated veterinary team on the ground. So they learn a lot from the ground. Then they learn how to manage the elephants in these captive situations, how to work on their better health and their welfare, how to work on enrichment, how to work on different aspects of their life. So that's a very great learning experience for all the volunteers. Then second comes motivation. So basically, motivation thing mm, goes to us because when volunteers are coming from different age group, from different part of the world, and when they bend down, when they pick up these food, when they clean the pool area, when they distribute these enrichments, cut fruits, and they work shoulder to shoulder with our ground staff. So literally, it's a motivational experience for our ground staff they all feel very proud, very, very proud that they are doing something very, very extraordinary and they are making some change in the life of these elephants. So it's very big motivation. And third comes is an education and again it's an awareness. So we all know that these elephants or any poor animals, those who live in captivity, they cannot talk about their plight, they cannot talk about their hard life in between our species. So then we becomes their world. So these volunteers, they go out back, they go to their family, they go to their schools, colleges, wherever in the world. Then they speak, they talk. Then they involve so many other people to think on this uh, elephant, on this topic. So it's very important to know about these animals because if we will not be serious right now, these are now endangered species. So it's very sad for me to say that we may lose. So now coming on this picture, we have these two volunteers. One is Satvinder ji, if she is hearing or if she will hear. So I'm very grateful to her. She is like a mom to us, and we all from our volunteering team, Harinder, Himanshu, Mridul, we all love her presence on the site. So she always make us feel like her kids. She whenever she comes, she's our very repeating volunteer. Whenever she comes, she make food for us and she come with a lot of used clothes and materials to donate and to gift for our staff and the ground. So she is very, very amazing lady. And her daughter, Lakshmi. And in the background, we have a Lakshmi. So it's amazing. It's amazing to work with the volunteers.
That's great. Let's just play this video. Shall we just proceed?
Yeah, please.
How many times have you been able to throw corn in your life? Can't say that many.
Yeah. So these volunteers are discussing over.
So they are just discussing the work and routine.
Yeah, discussing the work and routine, and also like you put something extra. No, let it be. This is Lakshmi. You can put some extra for Lakshmi.
Nice. Okay, moving ahead.
How many times have
Safety and supervision.
Yeah. So if we come on this point, safety and supervision, it's a very important point because first of all, we all should know very well in our head, in our mind, that we are working with the strongest mammal of the land. So they are very powerful. We should always respect their power. They are very agile. And also, we all know that they had a very bad experience with the humans in their all past life. Some of them are 50-year-old, 60-year-old, 40-year-old. So we can't even imagine, no matter, we can't even explain how much they had seen their bad life in their last life. So we have to always be very careful while working with these elephants. So we work on minimum human interaction. We only allow their caregivers to be close to them to assist the veterinary team for their treatment, for their vaccination, for their welfare, for their health care, everything. And we know that these people, they work in a very strict rules and regulations and also safety protocols. And they spend, we all should know that they spend 18 hours, 16 hours a day with these elephants. So they start their day from morning 5, 5:30, and they end around 8, 8:39. So they feed them, they take care of their health, they clean up their enclosures. So they are very close to them. And these elephants are somewhat dependent on them and they know them very well, very, very well with their smell, with their presence, with their voice, everything. So that's why safety is very important. So we work on minimum interaction. We don't allow any of our visitors and volunteers to go close or do any kind of touch or interaction with the elephant. Because touching and interaction is all the part of just an entertainment. So maybe it's a we love elephant. It does not mean that elephant is loving to us. So we should always respect one-side love. If we are loving them one side, so we should respect them. We should always respect what they want, what they love. So let them be elephants, let them be with their own species. That's how they need to learn how they should behave. They are elephants. So that's the most important thing, which we always discuss at the first day, the orientation day only with the volunteers. Explain them everything, what will be our safety rules and protocols. And every volunteers, they understand, they know the reality, so they're very, very cooperative. I'm very thankful
I
to all.
agree with you. I
Yeah.
agree. So moving ahead to responsible volunteering program. So Debbie, as someone who is deeply involved with the program, could you share your thoughts on responsible volunteering when it comes to working with wildlife? Also, if you could, add to the point that what are the key aspects that volunteers should keep in mind to ensure that they are making a positive impact while respecting the well-being of the animals and their habitats?
Yeah, thank you, Sandy. I think as Shivam has just said, the main thing is that we try our very, very best to make the lives of our elephants as natural to their original natural habitat as it could possibly be, and to treat them as if they're wild elephants as much as possible, which means no actual interaction with them. And I just want to say to people to reassure you that if you then think, oh, that means I'm not going to really get very close, it means I'm not going to get to know the elephants. That's absolutely not the case. I got to know them so well that I now work with them. So I think wanting actual interaction is just all for our own benefit. That's just humans wanting that moment, that experience with a wild animal. But we have to remember that these animals are with us because they've had such negative and abusive experiences with interaction with human beings. So it would be really, really unkind of us to impose that upon them. But you do get really, really close to the elephants in terms of getting to know their characters through the work that you're doing as a volunteer. You don't need to be hands-on to have an amazing experience with them. So as you're going about your duties, whether you're chopping fruit and vegetables, or you're doing the gardening, or you're clearing the enclosures, getting rid of all the elephant dung, clearing out their pools, which is great fun as well, especially on a very hot day, you're actually in very close proximity to the elephants, but you're not going to be directly interacting with them. But you get to observe them. You get to observe the likes of Lakshmi when you walk towards her with a bucket full of food. Her reaction to that is just always comical, it never won't be. But you also get to see how nervous some of the other elephants are that perhaps haven't been with us so long, and it's more recent abuse that they've suffered. But fruit chopping, gardening, all of these things mean that you get to know the elephants. And that means that you're having a positive impact on their lives, because we are helping Wildlife SOS, our vets, our carers, to actually enhance the elephants' days. Because the more hands on deck, the more time that gives the elephant carers to do things like enrichments. And we have got a beautiful viewing veranda. It's just one of the most magical places to sit. I was lucky enough, Sandy, to sit with you back in May. We sat and had a work meeting with, our backdrop to our meeting was Emma, our elephant, playing and splashing around in her pool. Was just, who could want the better backdrop for a meeting than that? It's fantastic, but it's a beautiful place to just sit when Shivam says that you can have some downtime from your tasks, and just observe, and to just be and take in the beauty and the nature of what's going on around you. And from an impactful point of view as well, there's environmental impact. And so volunteers have a positive impact on that side by planting of trees, helping do the organic gardening, and all of those things help us to get closer to attaining and aligning ourselves with the 17 Sustainable Development Goals that there are, which of course were put in place to help everyone work towards a better, kinder environment and world and planet for everybody and everything that's on it. So yeah, I think it's just important to realise that you just don't need to be hands-on, and anywhere that allows you to be hands-on or swim with elephants or feed them, it's not ethical, because the elephant has had to be trained to allow you to do that. So stay away and come to us. Very
insightful. Moving ahead, who can volunteer at Wildlife SOS? Over to you, Debbie.
Yeah, I mean, anyone, as Shivam said, even if you're not the fittest person in the world, then there are other tasks that you can do while you're there, like supervising. Yeah, whether you're a lone traveller, a group of college students, or even corporate groups, anybody can come, everybody will learn, and everybody will take something away from this in a very positive manner. Corporates are especially beneficial to us, given that they typically will be a larger group. And the more hands on the ground, like Shivam said, the more we can get done, the more we can enhance the lives for the elephants. And again, the corporates, you know, they're people that spend a lot of time sitting at a desk, sitting inside. They're not always very engaged with nature. It might be that their weekends are spent quite indoorsy as well, depending on what their lifestyle is like. And so this offers employers a chance to get their teams outside, interacting with nature, giving something back, which is great for the employer because it means that they've got a happy team, they've got an engaged team, and a team that know that they're making positive impact through the generosity of their employer. For the employees, it's a time to for teamwork, team building, and to get out there and to completely empathise and understand what is going on out in the bigger world of wildlife, and especially where abuse occurs because due to wildlife experiences and demands by people for that. So I think corporates are very, very important because the outreach opportunities are vast. We have a lot of CSR collaborations that we do. So CSR, for people that don't know, is corporate social responsibility. In India, it's a legal requirement for companies of a certain size to give a percentage, I think it's 2% of their profit, to NGO type work, to collaborations. In the UK and the US, that's not the case. And that's what we're trying to reach out to these corporates to do, is to take on that same kind of stance and to give back to wildlife, the planet and the environment. So yeah, corporates are really important, as are everybody else, but it's they just have such a wide outreach for us for after they've been visited.
You just answered my question. I was about
Sorry.
to ask regarding the corporate social responsibility.
Okay.
But great learning. I'm sure it's very insightful for people who are out there. They have a lot of friends who can associate and partner with Wildlife SOS. Moving ahead, how do I become a volunteer with Wildlife SOS?
Yeah, I mean, you can either visit our website, as it says there. We've got an online application form, which takes literally 2 minutes to fill in. After that, you'll be contacted by the education officers to discuss your visit in more detail. You can email us at volunteer@, and Shivam and his colleagues are on the end of that email. If you want to speak to somebody in the UK, you can give me a call. There's a US number there as well, or we have the India numbers if you want to chat about it. And what we do as well, to show our appreciation of any of our volunteers, all of our volunteers, then we give everybody a Wildlife SOS t-shirt. I was going to say like the one I'm wearing, but you probably can't see it, but there you go, got an elephant on it. And also an appreciation certificate. So that's something that, especially if you're at college, you're doing anything to do with animal husbandry, can be a useful part of your CV as well, and perhaps your college work. And prior to coming out, we also have a volunteer services certificate we can issue if people want to do some outreach once they've confirmed, before they visit us and once they've confirmed their place with us.
Thank you, Debbie. That's a very vital information.
Thank you,
Cool.
Sandy.
This looks fun. Shivam, we are all ears for a dose of fun and curiosity. Please throw some light here to all these figures out.
So these are our, actually, all the volunteers. We are very grateful to them, those who came here on the ground. They all made a very big impact on the field. Now our whole center at the Elephant Center is changed completely. The biodiversity, the greenery, the life of our staff, and every aspect of the rescue facility. So these are the few of our celebrities. They're very special. They made their very special visits at the Elephant Rescue Facility. So let me introduce these people. So first is Disha Patni. She is an Indian Bollywood actress. She is well known, and she spent 2 days at the Elephant Rescue Facility, and she did a lot of work on the ground, fruit chopping, enrichment building activities, and she was very pro in chopping of the Suzy smoothie, especially the watermelon. So it's amazing. And second one is Siddharth Malhotra. He is also a very well-known Indian Bollywood actor, and he came here. He spent a lot of time at the facility. Yeah, and now the third person is James May from UK. He is a very famous TV actor in UK, and he is going to release a series on India. It's a James May in India and his journey, and he is covering Elephant Conservation and Care Center in Mathura as well. So it's a, a very great. It will be a very great for us that he covered us, and then that's how we will spread a lot of word for the elephants towards the whole world. And fourth one is Jennifer Winget. She is a very famous Indian serial actress, and she was here for 2 days. She did a lot of work on the field, and she is fabulous. She made amazing video testimonials. Uh, she raised a lot of interesting facts about the elephants. So now comes to Jim Saram. I think most of people in India they know about this man. He's very fabulous. His acting, I also personally like his theater kind of acting. And he spent 5 days at Wildlife SOS Elephant Conservation Care Center as well as the Agra Bear Rescue Facility. And I was so pleased just by seeing his uh, lifestyle. He was so grounded, he was so humble, and he did every single bit of work. He picked up the poop of the elephants, he cleaned and wiped the enclosures of the bears, he made the platform, he did the pool cleaning, he did the enclosure cleaning, he did the fruit chopping, every single thing on the ground. And I was also very pleased just by knowing him personally and the knowledge inside his mind about the nature and about the animals, which was incredible to me. And even he helped us always a lot. And even at the first video, he gave us his voiceover, the fact about elephant documentary. So I'm very pleased to him. So if he is somewhere, so please, I'm very thankful to Jim Sara for coming here on the ground. The last, not but the least, she is Leslie Nicole, and she is a very famous uh, actress in UK, and she has played a role in Downtown Abbey. If people are listening from UK, so you all must be well aware of of her. And just with Leslie, we have two wonderful personalities, Mr. Karthik Satyanarayan and Geeta Man, Geeta Sheshmani. So these are the two wonderful people behind Wildlife SOS. They started this organization, and we are very thankful to them, their effort. We always try to learn a lot from them and their effort. So very thankful to Geeta Ma'am and Karthik sir. So thanks, sir. Thanks, Andy, for letting me introduce these wonderful people. And
Thanks so much, Shivam. And I'm pretty sure that Jim will be so happy to hear your statements.
yeah, we were hoping to see him once more, but because of some unforeseen conditions, so he couldn't make it on the site. So he will definitely come back. We promise.
Okay, great. Great. So you can now visit and volunteer at the Wildlife SOS centers in Agra, Mathura, and Bangalore. Your journey to make a difference starts right here today at Wildlife SOS sanctuaries. Let's make memories and build strong connections with our incredible animal friends. Together, we can be the ones who bring positive change, share stories, and protect our beautiful planet. We are thrilled to have you join the extraordinary world of Wildlife SOS. I would also like to make a small special request here, an announcement for my friends in the UK. Anyone in the UK thinking of volunteering, we have a volunteer explore trip departing the UK 30th of October this year. contact us. Please do write to us for more details. Moving ahead, the floor is all yours. We are eagerly waiting to hear more questions. Please do type in your questions and I'll take some. I think the time is, we are a little short on time, so I'll probably take 2 questions. Let's see. Okay, so I do have a question for Debbie.
Okay.
So Debbie, there is a question which is, how do you go about starting a career in elephant conservation? I'm a recent graduate and I feel like it's hard to get experience in the field.
Okay, so yeah, mine was probably accidental really, but I would say to go volunteering, come and meet the team, come and spend some time. You'll get to learn. That's great experience, and hopefully that will give you an idea of exactly what area you want to work in. There's so many aspects to caring for wildlife. But yeah, I can imagine it is probably quite difficult to get into. I mean, we have a young volunteer. He's only 12 years old, a little lad called Zavi, and he fell in love with our elephant project about 3 years ago now. And he's actually just enrolled at his next school, and he's already got his name down that as soon as he's 14, he's going to start an animal husbandry course. And now in the UK, much to his disappointment, there aren't any elephants, but they've told him that basically, yeah, he'll learn the skills based around large animals in the UK, like not elephants, cows, horses, and that some of those skills are then transferable if he then wants to carry on and further that. But yeah, do try, come and join us, and hopefully from there that will actually enable you to get into that world and be on all the socials. You know, follow us on LinkedIn, on our Facebook, on our Instagram, and connect with associations and anywhere that could really enhance and help you along with your career. And good luck.
Thanks so much, Debbie. I have another question for Shivam, which says that, can we volunteer with any other species other than elephants at Wildlife SOS?
Obviously, at Wildlife SOS, when you come as a volunteer, so basically we give experience to all the volunteers to work with very close to our very endemic species, very important species, so-called sloth bear, and the elephant itself. Sidewise, we have a rescue operation which goes on every day. We have a dedicated rescue team for that. Whenever we get call for any injured or distressed wild species, you can take any name, suppose. And as an example, hyena, jackal, leopard, snakes, or birds, monkeys, whatever. So that team goes there. We rescue that animal. We bring them towards our facility. We have a specific area for their treatment, for their care. Then as they are part of a nature, they are wild animals. So we never want to keep them for long. We always try to release them back to the wild, because every rescue operation, it gets completed when you release the animals back to the same nature. So that time we have our very expert staff on the ground, especially our director of conservation projects, Bajuraj MV. He is a very well-known herpetologist. So we always try to make sure, we always try to take his time from his very busy schedule so that we can conduct some snake-related lessons for the volunteers. If we have some rescued snakes, so we try to introduce the volunteers about the species of the snake and how we rescue that snake from what situation. Sometimes we show volunteers, but no direct involvement, all from a safe distance. We show them how we release them back to the wild. And especially if the vet volunteers are there, so obviously they shadow the vets and they get to see so much about the other animals too.
Thanks so much, Shivam. So before I end this webinar, I have a small request. Please come and visit and volunteer with us at the 3 facilities of Wildlife SOS. First is in Uttar Pradesh, which is Agra Bear Rescue Facility for the sloth bears. Then we have for the elephants in Mathura, again in Uttar Pradesh. We also have a sloth bear facility in Bangalore, which is called as the Bannerghatta Bear Rescue Center. Please come volunteer, visit at any point of time. Do write to us at visit@wildlifesos.org, volunteer@wildlifesos.org. Thank you.